Subscribe to ABN Media Network and become part of our family and learn so many new things.
A spine-chilling story. My name is Kaleem Haider. I was a major in the army. My father once beat my mother so severely that her shoulder bone was broken. Because she never received proper treatment, the damaged bone cut off blood circulation in her arm, and it slowly dried up and became lifeless. When my mother later suffered a stroke, I resigned from my post to care for her. Despite my wife's pleas, my heart found no peace until I left the service. I belong to Toba Tek Singh district. My mother was only 13 when my grandmother passed away. After her death, my grandfather took responsibility for raising my mother, but soon realized that he could either earn a living or protect her, not both. So when my mother turned 16, he married her to his nephew, thinking a known boy from the family would keep her happy. Sadly, that was only wishful thinking. My grandfather lived for another year and a half after her marriage. During that time, my mother returned to her father's house 3 times after being beaten, but every time my grandfather persuaded his brother, my paternal grandfather, to take her back. After my grandfather's death, my mother became completely helpless. My paternal family grew even more cruel. Along with my father, my grandmother and both aunts beat my mother whenever they could. Once, when my father was leaving for Friday prayers and my mother hadn't ironed his clothes due to illness, he beat her with a wooden laundry stick so badly that her shoulder bone broke. They didn't even take her to a doctor. Instead, whenever she cried in pain, they beat her more and called her lazy and worthless. The broken bone eventually damaged the veins supplying blood to her arm. As the blood flow stopped, her fingers and arm began to dry and wither. When my paternal family realized she was completely paralyzed, they accused her of being immoral and forced my father to divorce her. At that time, I was 7 months in her womb. After the divorce, a midwife from the village sheltered my mother for 2 months until I was born. But when I came into the world, my father's family feared I might one day claim inheritance, so they forced my mother and me to leave the village. With no place to go, my mother wrapped me in a piece of cloth and carried me, sometimes in her teeth, sometimes on her shoulder, until she reached Toba Tek Singh city. That night, she slept with me under a butcher's stall, staying awake all night to protect me from stray dogs. Time passed. At first, my mother survived by eating spoiled fruit from vendor carts. God turned that food into milk so she could feed me. Gradually, the local shopkeepers began to trust her and allowed her to clean their shops for a little money. Cleaning with one hand while carrying me on her back was hard, so she saved some money to buy brushes, polish, and sewing tools to mend shoes. She stitched shoes using one hand in her mouth. Some kind-hearted people paid her extra, but others mocked her. Some wicked boys deliberately dirtied their shoes in sewage water and gave them to her to clean, laughing as she wiped them with her mouth and cloth. Years went by. When I became school-aged, my mother contacted my father through local elders and obtained a copy of his ID card after promising never to claim inheritance. With that, she got me admitted to school. My teacher, Syed Zafar Shah, learned about our condition and took us into his home. He gave us a room and took care of our needs. In return, my mother insisted on helping with housework. I continued studying. Eventually, Sir Zafar helped me apply to the army, and I was selected as a second lieutenant, among the top 10 cadets. I completed training, and Sir Zafar married me to his daughter. Later, while I was on an intelligence mission as a captain, Sir Zafar suffered a heart attack and passed away. I couldn't attend his funeral because of my mission. After returning, I spent a week visiting his grave daily to apologize for not being there. I went back to duty and became known as an officer who first gathered intelligence himself and then led his team to destroy enemy strongholds. During a mission in Baluchistan, I received news that my mother had a stroke. Despite everyone's advice, my superiors, batchmates, and even my wife, I resigned and returned to care for my mother. Colonel Latif and Brigadier Imtiaz both told me I would regret my decision. My wife promised to take good care of my mother, but my heart would not agree. I knew that my mother could share her feelings with me in a way she never could with my wife. I devoted myself completely to her care. As long as she lived, I spent nearly every hour by her side. I ran a small car showroom where an employee managed sales while I stayed home with my mother. God blessed me for serving her. Today, I own 7 car showrooms in Norway and an industry in Pakistan. My mother has passed away, my children are grown, my daughter studies in America, and my sons manage our business abroad. They wait eagerly for any word or request from me or their mother. Some time ago, my wife and I visited our daughter in America. At her request, we went to an old age home, where I recognized a frail old man, Brigadier Imtiaz. Once a proud and powerful man in Pakistan, he was now just a weak skeleton. He couldn't even recognize me. The staff told me his son had left him there, with instructions only to bury him in a Muslim graveyard after death. That night, as my wife and daughter massaged my tired feet, I thought, indeed, kindness toward parents is a seed you plant today that your children will one day return to you. The sight of Brigadier Imtiaz confirmed this truth in my heart. Note: share this story. Maybe, through you, God will change someone's life.